Hey everybody, Brett from SeniorGolfSource.com. Today I'm going to help you out with your wedges. So for those of you that struggle around the greens, this is a video that is designed specifically for you. Now this technique is going to be used more for like the chipping and pitching aspects, not necessarily the lob. To a certain extent it is, but we're talking about pitching and chipping the ball. What happens for a lot of golfers, mid to high handicap golfers, is they will be so focused on keeping their head still that the only appendages that they use to move the club back and forth are basically the hinge point from your shoulders, the hinge point in your elbows, and the hinge point in your wrist. If you ask me, that's too many moving parts. I would much rather isolate those three things and work on something that's going to deliver consistent results. So the big difference between that mid to high handicap golfer and the lower handicap golfer is really going to be the technique and the relationship of how their arms are used through the swing for these. What I'm going to do is I've got a flat bag here. You can use a towel. I like a towel better. I'm going to drape it across the center of my chest and let it go underneath of both arms. And what I'm going to do here is I'll set up, and the objective is to hold that bag or that towel under your arms so that the towel doesn't pop out. All right? If I start using those hinge points in my shoulder, elbow, or wrist, there's a good chance that I'm going to drop the bag in either the right or left side of my body. Now what I want to do here is get comfortable with making this motion. Now as you notice from this perspective, you can see that my shoulders are moving through and my head is staying still. So you can definitely keep your head still and move your body. So don't be so freaked out about keeping your head still and trying to do this silly stuff with your hands and arms. It's not going to work. It might work occasionally, but it's not going to help on a routinely basis lower your scores. So what I'll recommend you do is start with your wedge, take your setup position. This is a narrow stance. And what I'm going to do at first, before I hit a golf ball, I want to get comfortable with where I feel the bottom of my swing is. So where I'm making contact with the ground, maybe I'll put a tee in the ground, maybe I'll hit at like an old spot on the grass, something burnt out, something small that you can focus on to hit routinely. And once you get a number of swings where you feel like, all right, I feel like I'm hitting this thing every single time, then we're going to place a ball. And what we want is, I want that spot that you've picked out, that you've trained, I want you to put that spot actually on the forward side of the ball. So in the front side of the ball, just below it, is where I really want to focus on that being, because I want to make ball contact, then ground contact, and that's where I'm going to hit it sweet. I'm going to get that nice feel. We've all hit a solid wedge shot before, hopefully, and this is the sequence of it. It's ball, then we bottom the club out. So now that I feel comfortable with that, I'm going to go ahead and set up, and there's that nice, solid, soft feel that I've got. If you want to take this drill a step further, because you're that golfer that has struggled with wrist movement, here's a really good exercise to add to the drill. Now this one you're not going to be hitting golf balls with, but it's going to help you isolate your wrist from being used in the swing. What you'll do is take the club at the midpoint of the shaft, you're going to keep the club face nice and square, and you're going to let that grip end kind of go underneath the forward side of your body here. And what will happen, if I use my wrist, I'm now going to hit my side, my forward side with the grip. And if I do that before I get to impact, that is indicating that I'm trying to do things with my wrist and arms. So it's kind of a combination of the two. Now that we've got mobility, I want to make sure that we isolate those hands, keep them dead, keep them soft and nice and quiet. So if I do this properly, you'll see that the distance that grip is for my body doesn't really change. It stays about the same as I come through. Obviously, the longer the swing, if I'm hitting more of a pitch shot, as I follow through, that's naturally going to hit. But we're talking about making our way into impact. I don't want to come into impact putting myself in jeopardy of using my wrist and extending that trail arm and get myself in big trouble there. So I hope you find this helpful. Please like and subscribe for more, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks again.